above of someone. We just in different positions in life sometimes that we are the helper, and in another situations we are the one who is helped. But this relationship is equal. We learn in the both way, because when you help someone, we are feeling, if you are humble enough to feel their situation, we are learning with them how to overcome difficult moments. Once I was in a seminar, and the speaker was telling to us, if you think you are very good when you help someone, if you think that you are in a better position than this person, you are not prepared to help. He said more. He said, I would say that don't help yet. Because when you do that, you are being very judgmental. And the real charity is to help the other without even they think they are being helped. We do the thing in a way that it's natural. We are brothers and sisters, right? So what makes us special when you help someone? Could be the opposite. Someone is in difficult situation and then came to our lives to give us the opportunity to be the instrument to help them. So this situation, help and being helped, is a avenue in two ways. We both are helped. We both have the opportunity to express our humility and to learn always. We have done a lot of bad things in our past lives. Today we don't do anymore, but just in the past lives. And when you have this opportunity to help someone, that's our opportunity to repair we have done. So once again, we learned that when you do the good things, we are the one who's being rewarded. So it's good because it eliminates this thing that creates difference between people. And keep it going on this sequence of how the chapter describes the difficulties in life, and the first stop is when Jesus says, doing good without showing off. So we don't showing off anymore. When you go to Facebook, we're going to show the cause, not us. Because we don't know how things are difficult. Because we see, Leo was saying in the prayer that we pray for the people in Puerto Rico and in the Caribbean, where they suffer, in Mexico. The whole planet is passing through a difficult moment. And just before I come in here, I was listening someone interviewing Divaldo Franco, and the person asked him, how do you think we're going to survive in this so difficult moment is in our planet? And then he said, the only way we're going to find the peace and we're going to overcome this moment of transformation is through love. There is no other way. So sometimes we just see the hurricane outside. We don't imagine how many people have big hurricanes inside of ourselves. That's what's in the chapter is shown as hidden misfortunes. That can be material. So we have a lot of people that we don't know how difficult are their lives. And many times these hidden misfortunes is in the mind, is in the heart. We don't know how many people live in distress. There is a lot of organizations called like Women in Distress, Kids in Distress. And until we get in contact with them, we have no idea how many families live in very difficult situation. And in this part of the chapter, Jesus taught, the Spirit show us the lady, talk about to us about the lady that goes to help the families without nobody know who she is. And she is a very important person in the society, but to help them without showing anything like I'm the better, I'm in the best situation. She goes simple. She brings to them everything they need, not only material, but also with care, with love. She takes care of the kids, she takes care of the mother, and then after she leaves the house and give them everything they need, she goes to the hospital to see the husband who is sick and he's not being able to provide to the family. So she takes care of everybody with love without showing off, for sure. And she's a very rich woman. And one day she was in her house and she was having a party and someone knocked the door. When she opens the door, is one of the persons she helps. And the person got, ooh, the lady's here. And she says, don't say anything. And she keeps doing the good things in secret. And in these hidden misfortunes, I was watching on Facebook a video for the campaign for suicide prevention. And the slogan for the campaign is just ask. It's okay to ask. Because many times we have our colleagues and then we look them, we see that something doesn't look too good, but we're not able to ask how are they feeling. If you just ask, are you okay? Do you need a help or do you need someone to listen to you? Is something happening? Or being just show to the person that you care, we can change a lot. And we have in this video a lot of professionals like social workers, psychologists, doctors, and they explain the difference because sometimes the only thing the person needs is someone to ask them, are you okay? Do you need help? Is there anything that I can do for you? And because it's very hard, why you don't ask this frequently? Not because you're very polite and you don't want to be intrude, but it's most of the time is because we are afraid to the answer. And we are afraid to what you're going to do if the person says, I'm not okay. How am I going to act? How am I going to help? So we are afraid to be involved. We are afraid to be responsible for doing something that you don't feel completely prepared for. We gotta trust in our instinct. We are gotta trust in our capacity to find solutions or to give them, because we don't have this power, but you give them the opportunity at least to talk, because when you talk, sometimes you can see the things more clearly. You just need to talk. When you hear, oh, the thing is not so bad, like I thought. Now I can hear better. It's not so bad. So this is a way to help, just to being able to listen to the people. And you got to trust that you have the good spirits or guardian angels helping us in case we are the instrument to help this person. They're going to give us the inspiration to say the right word in the right time. But another thing that is very precious and it's hard for us to find today is time, right? When Jesus was sitting in front of the temple and he was seeing people giving the money or the donations for the temple, he saw a lot of rich men putting a lot of money. But he saw also the lady, the widow, that she opened her hand and she said just few coins. And she put the half of her coins to the treasure in the temple. And he said to the apostles, she gave much more than the other people. I'll tell you the truth, this poor widow had put more into the treasure than all the others. They all gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all she had to live on. And today, what is for most of us, what's really we don't have its time, right? We always complain, I didn't do this because I don't have time. We don't have enough workers in the spiritual center because people don't have time to dedicate to come here and help. Don't have time to come and direct the studies or to study. And we think if you are able to donate time, we are doing the same thing to this lady is doing. Doing something that is from ourselves. And it's go together with the distinctive lady says to her daughter. Because this lady, when she goes help, she takes her daughter with her. But she says to her, we got to give something from you. Because if you give something that I gave you to give, that's me giving to them. It's not to you. So time, it's something you can give to others from us. Because we are taking something that we don't have too much, but we are sharing with someone. To listen, to talk, to prepare something. There is a lot of things we can do when we find time. And since we are talking about time, I love to remember Barçanufo. I don't know if you know him. He was in the beginning of the 20th century. He created a school in Minas Gerais, in a small city, in the countryside of the Minas Gerais. And he was a great medium. He was helping everybody. He lived to help others. And for you to have an idea, he used to go to bed 9 o'clock at night. And he would wake up 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, no, 3 to 7, from 3 to 7 in the morning. He was preparing the medicine for the people from outside of Minas. From 7 to 10, he was answering letters that people from the whole country were sent to him with asking for medicines. Because through Bezerra de Menezes, he do, how do you call? Farmácia de manipulação? That's difficult, right? He has his... No, he was preparing medicine from the Bezerra de Menezes was giving to him a prescription. He prepared this prescription and distributed for the whole country. So he had a time that he dedicated for the people from outside of his state, and he had a time that he dedicated for the people inside of the state. And sometimes, and he was the professor and director of the school. So between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., he was in the school. At night, he used to go to the center to help people in the center also. And Tuesdays and Thursdays at night, he do the accounting for his father that had 2 stores. So he always find time. And he's a good example to us. When you persevere, we're going to find time to do everything we need to do for us and to the others. And I love him. I suggest you to read something about him because he's incredible. And even when he was teaching, and today in Brazil is the day dedicated to the teachers, even when he was teaching, sometimes his students could see him like falling asleep, but he was going in spirit to some place to help people. He used to help the ladies to have babies, to deliver the babies. And he was so incredible because he used to go there, deliver the baby, comes back to the class in spirit, continue his activity. And the father was getting here. Oh, I came in here to ask you to go to my house because my wife is in labor. And then he said, I already been there. The baby's already born. And many times they don't believe. When they come back, they could see the baby there, healthy, and everything's okay. So it's a good example for us that when we want to do, we find time to do it. And God and the good spirits will help us for sure. We're not alone on this. Since we have the humbleness to understand that we are not um, the only ones that do things, we are mere instruments when you let them to help through us. So going back to the list, let's go back to the list. We talk about doing without showing off hidden misfortunes, widow mind, and to invite the poor and the crippled. So who is in our list for help? It's easy to help the ones we like, the ones we know, but how about the people we don't like too much? The people that we think, I don't have, there is some, we spirits like to that, there is something, the energy doesn't connect, I don't know what it is, there is no synchrony. This is something we need to work, there is no doubt, because we have a problem with someone, there is something that you need to work. So there is no excuses for us not to do it. So our job is to do to everyone in need. Because that's the same way would like to be done for us. And we don't know when we're going to be in the position that we need someone to look for us. And think on this, I brought from this book, Enlightening Messages. It's a small book with a great lessons. And there is a message from André Luiz that says exactly that sometimes you think you did enough. For example, today or Friday, we came to help with the food pantry, right? Today, gonna help in the set. So this afternoon, we don't need to do anything else because I already did for the week. Do we have receivable or payables account for charity? If you're still thinking that you can count how many good deeds we did, we still didn't understand that what means don't let our left hand knows what our right hand is doing. I always have a problem to say this because I always mix them. But that's the main point. Because Jesus is not only saying that you not show to others what we are doing, but to show ourselves. So if you still have the need to count how many good things we do, it's not natural inside of ourselves yet. So one hand is still seeing what the other hand is doing. When we are able to do things in a natural way that we don't even think, that's when the things went in place. This hand is not seeing what this hand is doing. And it's going to be part of ourselves in future. The more we practice, the more we do without thinking. It's part of us. Maybe millions of years ago, it was natural for us to kill. Today, something doesn't even pass in our minds, right? The same way it will be charity in the future. It's going to be part of us. It's going to be helping each other without thinking, without counting, without feeling that we're special, because it's going to be part of nature. And when we have this moments that we feel tired, that we feel, I do a lot of things, nobody sees, nobody talks, nobody say thank you. André Luiz brings us a message. And he says, a little more is the name of the message. And if you are under the impression that you have exhausted, let me find it. I'm sorry. Oh, it's here. If you are under the impression that you have exhausted the stock of all your resources in work of love, You experience enormous fatigue and do not wish to hear a long-winded friend. But if you persevere a little more in your sacrifice, you can predict the fruits from the harvest of blessing that will come from your brief minutes of courtesy. Notice that you too, in pursuit of anything, demand incessantly a little more goodwill, a little more cooperation, a little more time, a little more kindness from your neighbor. Genius and patience are never ending. It is fair that you wish a little more happiness, but this is necessary that you play a helping part in the happiness of others. Be aware of the lessons of life. You will understand that to be victorious is to work always in accordance with your duty as to serve a little more. There is always opportunity for us to do a little bit more. And when you see the people doesn't care, it's not important because who needs to see is seen. And this is Jesus. This is God. And if you're going back to the first lesson, that is not showing off. If nobody sees, no, it's not important because who needs to see is seen. So, what is material and moral charity? Love one another and do unto others what we wish they would do to us. All that is religion and moral is contained in these two precepts. If they were observed in this world, then everyone would be happy and there would be no more hate and resentment. That's what we need. That's exactly what Divaldo is saying, how we're going to find the peace in our planet is creating more moments of love, is develop love inside of ourselves. And there is no other way but than charity, because that's when we're going to be involved with other people and have compassion for them and understand that nobody acts the way they act unless there is a reason. In the same way we want to be seen, we must see the others. So that's how we develop love. And this is the moral charity. Be a person who understands the other the way they are. Maybe we don't agree, maybe you don't like, but we respect the way the other person it is. And we're going to do our best to help them when they need. We're going to do our best to be with them when they need. The same way would you like to have someone with us when we are the ones in need. When you have doubts, what is the difference between material and moral charity? Just ask. Let's ask our heart, and we're going to feel. We're going to see the difference for sure. Doing good. They call me charity. I follow the principal path which leads to God. Accompany me, since I know the goal for all to aim at. So doing good, it's simply do your best to others. And doing good, being good, that's like we talked before, being respectful to others. Because it's very easy, like we said before, to put ourselves in better position. But from the moment we understand that we are brothers and sisters, we have the same needs, we need the same care, we're going to be doing good, being good. And this brings me to the moment when Chico Xavier, I don't know if you know this story, when he was given passes. How do I say passes in English? Passes? Healing hands? Laying hands? Okay. So everybody understand what I mean? So Chico Xavier was in the line to giving passes, to laying hands. And he saw a person that he saw clearly the person was not well. He could see her energy, how bad the person it is. And then he told her, or his, I don't remember if it was a woman or a man, ask this person to give him a passes. So he sit down and the person gave him the passes. Just for this attitude of him, the person starts feeling much, much better without realizing that he was giving her the passes, even though he was the person sitting. And he gave us the great lesson. He helped her, making her to think she was the person who is helping. So that's the way you need to help the others. The way that the person thinks, oh, I'm the one who is helping. Because this is make us feel better. This is improve our self-esteem. Can you imagine? The person is going through a very hard situation, and then you make her to feel worse. If you make clear that we are the angel in her life, right? The opposite is much better. The result is much better for both, for who is helping or for who is being helped. And there was another situation, and in another seminar I was at, and then the instructor said, we are here to, when you help someone, the first thing is being humble. And the second thing is to always put yourself in somebody else's place. And if this person is going through a difficult situation and you put yourself in their place, you're going to ask yourself, if I'm in this situation, I would have the same courage, I would have the same strength to overcome this situation. So this person needs to be respected, because this is a strong person. This is a person who is going a difficult situation because he's strong and needs to be respected. So we all in the same situation when you are humble and respectful. And that's how you need to learn to help others and develop. That's how we develop the love for everybody. Compassion. Compassion is related to everything we said in the way we help others, being respectful and understanding. And this week, just after the hurricane passed through Puerto Rico and they were distributing food, and someone pointed out in the news, he was watching, and then he said, we could see the professional people giving the meals, just giving the meals. Okay, you're hungry, here's your meal. And the other people giving the meals with love, with the compassion, saying to them, here's the meal, but giving the same time love, care, words of support. Because it's very easy to give the material, and sometimes you think you are so good because you clean the closet and give to the ones in need, and we think we are very good. But that is just the opposite, because the person who received the clothes are the ones who is helping. Because in fact, we're not giving, we're just giving the accesses, and they are helping us to clean the closets, right? So you're not so good like that. That's the difference when you give with compassion. And the chapter talk about the abandoned children. Brothers and sisters, you should all love the orphans. If you only knew how sad it is to be abandoned, especially in infancy. God permits that to be orphans so that we may be motivated to be their parents. What an act of divine charity is to protect a creature who has been sadly abandoned, to stop them from being hungry and cold, and administer that to their soul so they may not fall prey to vice. Well, sometimes we wait to win the lottery to be able to help the children on the streets, the children who are abandoned. And sometimes it's very near to us. There is this organization, His House, Children's Home, that's very near to us. It's an orphanage that they receive the children from the justice, the children that take from their home because any problem, and until the situation is cleared by the law, the children stay there. They have children that come from the they are left when they had the earthquake in Haiti. They received a lot of children, and they received children that the mothers doesn't want them, and they need help from holding the babies because sometimes they have babies and they need help to cut the grass, so they need all kind of the help, and they don't have enough people to volunteer. When you go there in the volunteer day, the orientation day, you see a lot of people, but few of them persevere because it's not easy to see the kids there. And they try to create for them a situation, a family situation. So they have their house, their bed, they create all the common situation that is common for us, but they don't have. But still, it's 10, 15 kids in a house. And the people that work there don't have enough time, again, to give them the attention they need. So His House is always asking for foster parents. And they have, every month, they have training for foster parents. It's hard also to find a volunteer to do that. Because, again, we don't want to get involved. We don't want to suffer. And when you foster a kid, one day, this kid is going to go back to the family. And the first question everybody asks is, how am I going to feel after months with this kid and I have to give them back to the parents? Or I need to give them to who is going to adopt them. How am I going to feel? You're going to feel bad. You're going to suffer a lot. It's going to hurt a lot. But you're going to make a difference on this kid's life for a period of time. And this period of time can be crucial for the future of this kid, to prepare this kid to be a better adult. And even though it hurts, that's a work that needs to be done, and it's worth to be done. Just a suggestion. Okay, so we have His House, you have many institutions, and if you are not able to foster kids, you're not able to go there, we still have institutions that need help today. Just last week I received an email from André Trigueiro. Remember when he was here? He was doing work in an institution in Rio de Janeiro that is near to close because they receive resources from organizations, non-profits from around the world. But with the situation with the refugees, mostly the Myanmar people, they remove the resources from Brazil to put on the refugees' cause. So the house is near to close, and they help a lot of kids from the streets. So if you look for, we're going to have a lot of people to help, a lot of institutions and need to be helped. And what is the good act reward by thanklessness? You should always help the weak, although knowing beforehand that you will receive no thanks for your help. But you can always be sure that if the person to whom you did a service forgets, God will take this even more into account than if the beneficiary had paid their debt. If God permits that sometimes you are paid with ingratitude, this is only the test to test your perseverance and the breadth of goodness. The basic teaching about the meaning of charity is doing without without expect anything and reward. If you are expecting reward, again, we still not understand what is charity. And I would like to close with some, it's from the book, there is no in English yet, but the book is beautiful. It's Amélia Rodrigues. Pelos Caminhos de Jesus, for the path of Jesus. And in the end, she describes the last minutes of Jesus. And he was on the cross, and he received a visit. And this visit tells to him that how unhappy she is, because she had followed him, she had helped people that was following him. And she tells that she inspired everybody. But in the moment that Peter's say that he doesn't know Jesus, and he does this 3 times, she gets so unhappy, so sad, that she asked Jesus to follow him in the high realms when he leaves, because she doesn't have faith on the humanity anymore. And she says to Jesus, you know who I am, right? I am the faith. And Jesus looked at the faith and stayed quiet, and he received the second visit. And this visit says to him, I lived all your instructions. I tried to reshape the moral and emotional clutches of the men who followed you. Nevertheless, everything I tried, Judas, in the last minute of when he realized what he did, I tried to inspire him, but he still commits suicide. I'm not feeling well. I don't want to be here anymore. I beg you to allow me to follow you in this beautiful place. Where are you going now? I am the hope. And he receives the third visit. And the third visit had the same problem with him. Described the same problem to him. The third visit worked with compassion, but the only thing she received was ingratitude. And she asked and she begs Jesus to follow him to this better place. And she said to him, you know who I am. I am the charity. And Jesus, at this moment, is the time when he says to Father, forgive them, the man, my Father. They don't know what they do. At this moment, a beautiful angel fly over them and present himself to Jesus. And the angel says, I was sent by the Father who hears your call. Say, Lord, what you desire of me. And Jesus said to him, be in the world, taking with you your faith, hope, and charity in my name, so that men who know me or not may be less their pains, avoiding as far as possible the misfortune under my love. They remain without discouragement until consummation of the centuries as light on pointing happy directions. Do you know who is this angel? This angel is compassion. So with compassion, love, and hope, we're going to be a better beings. We're going to be able to help others, and you're going to learn the love we need to put in practice, the charity, the real charity. And you're going to find peace for sure in our planet. So maybe God bring to us today and always the best intentions and the best practice to help others. Pit. At this moment, let's close our eyes. Elevate our thoughts to God our Father. Jesus our Master and the good spirits, the directors of this house, to help us on this prayer that you think about all our brothers and sisters in our planet that are in suffering, that may feel the hope, the courage to sustain them in this difficult moment. Help us to bring to each and every one in suffering our love, our care, our desire that they feel better and they find the light to go through their path. We want to ask you, God, for all our brothers and sisters that are in prison, in orphanages, nursing homes, on the streets, that they know they are not alone, that near to them there is always a good friends, Jesus messengers, bring to them the hope. We want to ask you, God, for our family, for our friends, the peace, the love they need to continue their journey. We want to ask you, God, for those who still don't know you yet, for them to find the light to illuminate their minds and their hearts and bring them to the good place that is your love. You want to ask you, God, for ourselves, your children who is still in need. Help us to evolve, to learn to love, to learn to help. And in your name, God, in the name of Jesus, in the good spirits, once again, we thank you for this beautiful moment. So beautiful.